Because for me, I see, Senate, if Senate was done the way the UK, there is the House of Lords, where we have professionals, we have people who have been there. We have many people who served in different capacities in this nation. And instead of them retiring, they could have been in the Senate, where they're not coming there for a pay, where they sit in as an upper house to advise both the county and the national government. Then that would be it. The Senate, if you look at the Senate at the House of Lords, they don't even go there for a pay. They might be paid for a sitting allowance, but they are not paid. They don't go for an election to be elected. But what happens to a Senate? The senator, when he comes in, the first thing is to make sure that he will go to become the next governor. So they start their fight with the governor immediately after. The Senate, we are talking about the national government money, or the money that is supposed to go to the people. Yes, we allocate money. It's not that the truth that the president allocates every money that goes to the constituencies or to the counties. The National Assembly makes a decision. Different departments, for instance, agriculture, education, they allocate money. So there is that national cake that is divided as per the nation. There's the money, of course, that is done for the president when he goes and does that allocation, those funerals and everything else. There's a money that is around. Then those are his own arrangements, because he's also president and people have expectations with the president. But the whole thing is, Senate, when the money goes in, I want to take an example of my own county, which is Braga County. We are told at the 70s and the 80s, Braga County had money. There was a county government then, those when they had the mayors and everything. They would collect their own revenue, and they would even lend the money to the national government. So what efforts have the Senate done to make sure that we are collecting revenue? They are not waiting for the national government to give them money, but they are also their own, they can be able to collect their own revenue. What efforts? Does anybody even care? Even when the money is allocated, I have my own senator. I've never had him question the money that is coming to county and how it's being spent, but I have had him complain about the president and what the president is doing. But the senators, their role is to oversight the county government. What do we see in the Senate? We see them calling the national, the national treasury, the national CSS. We should be seeing much more of them trying to assist the government and say, you have gotten this money, can we see how much you have been able to collect? Are we having like an award or something for the counties that are able to generate their own revenue? That is my question, and I see Senate should be actually, as it is now, it should just be a committee of parliament. When we have a committee that oversights education, in the whole country we have a committee. No, it's not, but that is my own opinion. Then we have a committee that oversights county governments. Instead of having people going to an election, having staff, having a whole house that is being run independently, but with very little coming from it. And what do you find? We find now the senators and the National Assembly, there's always a fight. They have brought this, they have not agreed, they are taking each other to court, and this is one house called Parliament. Why should we get to take each other to court and spend money, taxpayers' money, where we cannot agree, even among ourselves? So for me, the biggest challenge we have here is civic education for the people, because the power belongs to the people. And when it comes to the implementation of the manifesto, I would say to an extent, yes. The political parties try to implement. I was in Jubilee Party before. I came in 2013 with TNA. That was the party of the National Alliance. We came in, but we had an alliance with the URP.
Yes.
So when we came into power, we had those two parties. By 2015, our political party leader called us and said we want to form one party because we have we want to form a party of national unity. And that's when we came in to form Jubilee Party, which was 2017, where I was elected the Jubilee Party. We had the manifesto about the universal health coverage. We tried even the piloting and implementation, which this government has continued. We had the issues of housing. We had 4 agendas, which we tried to push, and that was an agenda of Jubilee Party. Come 2018, when there was a repeat election, and of course then there was instability, my own political party leader convinced me that he went to do a handshake with Raila Odinga so that we can have peace in this nation. I love peace. I'm one person, I don't have the effort and the energy that Omtata has to go to the streets, and I believe that we can sit and talk. So when I did the handshake, I was very happy person. That's why when everybody left, I was left there. Because I believed, and he told us he did the handshake for the purpose of the peace of this nation, not for political arrangement. And now that is history, because you know what happened in 2022 and the confusion and everything that happened, and a lot of our party members bolted out because they didn't find it, they were not comfortable with the coming in of the other political leader, Raila Odinga, to come and join the government. And formed what we have the UD. Fast track 2022. We have gone to parliament. We lost. I was with Azimio with the Beatrice, but Beatrice came in with a very strong political party called ODM. And if you want maybe to know, even if there's a bit of dictatorial in ODM, I think it's a party that has tried so hard. It is a party that I've gone to the villages and I can find a chairman of that party in a funeral in the village. That's the truth. If you want to study any political party that ODM from I think 205, that was the orange, that's when the Orange Democratic Movement came, they did the election 207, they have never mutated. 2012, they were there. 2017, they were there. 2022, they were there. So I think it's the only political party that has withstood the storm of these mergers and everything else. Because we had Kanu. Kanu is still there, yes.
Yeah, Kanu is still there.
It's still there. But I think the Jogos is mutating to become a small chick now. Because it's no longer. But it has been there. Political. I think the only other political party that was very strong was Kanu. But they had an advantage of being one. You know, it was only one political party before we got the multi-party system. So what am I saying? If you look at ODM, yes, they are everywhere in the village, and I think they have managed to even have those grassroots leaders and everything. Of course, there's influence. Our political parties are almost, for lack of another word, owned by individuals. Yeah, they are owned by an individual because it's that individual that decides. And also you look at the structure of even who is elected to be in the NEC or to be the representative. They are all well, I think vetted to suit the interest of the political party owner. And so that's the most unfortunate thing. Yes, you can have an independent mind, even if your political party has a stand, depending on what you believe in. So there's just general mannerism that comes when you come to parliament. For instance, let's say there's a motion on abortion in parliament. If I don't believe in abortion, even if my political party whips me to go and pass the motion, I will stand and I'll say from my religion, from my belief, from my mother, I do not believe in it. It doesn't stop you from having your own mind, your own independent mind, even if you're a political party. And I think that is where, at that level, people can sit and agree as political party. Yes, this one might be the political party stand, but as an individual, because I went to parliament and I know what I want, I will not support this. Or there's something that your political party does not believe in, but you would want. And I think we saw the efforts we tried, which is about the 2/3, where we finally made up our mind that the people who are at the top don't really want that 2/3 to be passed. We had our own colleagues, we had agreed there was political party stand, but when we went voting, we had a full house, but when the voting came in, people left and went to take tea. Because they didn't want to be seen that they have said no, because the majority of the people who vote for them are women. And they didn't want to go against it, but they left and just went and sat there. So let us vet the people who come to parliament. Parliament has all the powers.
Yes.
We have many laws, we don't even need to do. Implementation is the key. But do we have the eye? Do we have the people who even have the time to look at what has been passed in budget? And by the time we are looking at the implementation, then we can question, why has this not been implemented? Do people have time? No. Because they pursue different interests even when they come to parliament. Some of them come into parliament, they are there to protect their own businesses, not for the people who voted for them. And because the Kenyan people also will look at the person, when you come in, you talk, they say, hey, Mheshimiwa, you have talked very nicely, so what have you left for us? So it's handouts, it's about money. It's about what you can be able to give. But I feel, and I think this is my last point, because I have said we have a lot of money, not only from the national, we have the CDF, so MPs are accountable for the money that they give. There is GAF that the women rep give, not just the money that the past that it belongs to, maybe the national government. We also have now the county. Accountability is key. Because what I have seen in this country, when things are not working, we always blame one person, the president. But you don't ask your MC that you voted for. You are in your county. Have you pushed your governor to make this road or the role that the county commission do? How many vocational trainings are we having in our villages? That is the main role of the governor. I have seen, and with a lot of respect, the governors are trying to fight for bursary for the university student, which is good. It's a good political tool for that governor. But is that what the money that the county receives should go to? We have a lot of high level of unemployed youth in our counties. So have they built those technical institutes where they can go and offer vocational training for these young people? Then they can be able to self-employ themselves. But they want something, and then they do these big programs, and that's why I'm asking the senators their role. You are giving bursaries worth maybe 10 million, and you have gotten this dome, and you have ferried people to come for this function. You're using another 5 million. So why couldn't you just allocate that money and it goes to schools? And this 5 million would have still gone to these other people. But you want to do such a big event for optics. This is politics. It's not that you mean really you want to help those people, but you're looking for your next time to be voted. So immediately we are voted in, we are looking for how are we going to be voted next. Not the impact you leave to the people. Because again, even if Mutata, and he's very good, he does many laws in parliament, his people will not remember even one single law that he passed. They'll ask him, so what did you do? What can we see? What did you bring for us?
Something physical.
Exactly. And so that's why you can receive MPs fighting. There's a whole lot of fighting about them keeping CDF. Because if you take away CDF from them, there is nothing. They'll be so, what did you give us? You go home. And we'll have a lot of turnover. But if our people will have patience, if we train our people on civic education, then we will have leaders who come in parliament knowing what they have come to do. I can tell you, especially in the 2022 election, there are many people who have found themselves in the Senate, or even as governors, or even as MCAs, or even at the National Assembly, without having an idea how they got there and what they are supposed to do in that with their position. And Beatrice can tell you, even in parliament now, debate has become very watered down. There's no debate, there's nothing. I don't feel inspired to go to parliament anymore. And you find sometimes you look at people and ask themselves, do they know where they are? Is the name honourable still honourable? Are we still being called honourable members? Do we still deserve that title? So that's we've seen the issues even of Gen Zs and everything, mishandlement of communication and everything else. Some things are very minor that should have been handled in a very better way. But now you also have the social media. And I want to give the recent case of the young man who was shot. It was a very unfortunate incident in town. And within a few minutes, already in parliament, we had given him a name and where he comes from and everything. That was the wrong person. We had already said this from Mumbai, but that young man is from my county, Muranga. You know? Yeah. He was not from Mumbai. The name that was given, that was not the name. But you can imagine how information goes. Yes. So even the clergy, the information that you consume about us, about parliament, about the government, do we have time to see and do research and find out whether it's the truth? You don't. So you wake up on a Sunday morning and you are on a sermon and you decide today I'm bashing the government. So what will happen after 1 week when you discover a guy? That guy was not even from Homa Bay. That guy was, you know. So there's a lot of work that we all, and not just the political, we are only say we are 300 plus, 349 plus, you guys, we are 400 and something. The entire parliament. We are 400 and something. In a population of 52 million Kenyans. So we are just like a very small fraction. So there's a lot professionals can do, there's a lot the church can do, there's a lot our young people can do, but we give each other good information, and just civic education is key. So that as we help each other, we are not perfect. As we help each other. And finally, and this is not about, this is to the church.
Yes.
My plea is that please let us give our people hope. Why do I wake up in the morning to go to church? I may be so frustrated in parliament. I may be so frustrated in my family. And by the time I'm stepping into the church, I want to come and hear a word of hope. I will not say church should not politic or should not involve themselves in politics. But please, your main role is to give us hope. Is to give us hope. Even when things are so hard. In my mother tongue, there's one word that we say, things will get better. That is what I want to hear. Because in Kenya now, and why are you finding people so annoying? People are getting so annoyed very few things. Why would the policeman pass a guy, go back and shoot? I was like, did that guy abuse him or what did he do? There's a lot of frustration. Mental health is key.
Yes.
Even us, we are not sober. I think if you had done a mental test in that parliament, maybe only 10% can pass.
I'm sober.
Sober and drinking, well, you know. I said, maybe you'll be the lucky among the 10%. But you also need to be checked.
Thank you very much, Master.
What I'm saying is this.
I'll still come back to you.
Yes,
don't worry.
about mental health.
Yes.
It's something that we should not take it for granted. People are having frustrations for right, front, and center. So as we then deal with everything, we need to have some space about mental health and how we can be able to help our people, and especially to give hope. That is my last appeal.
Thank you so much. I know Mheshimiwa Sosi wants to respond by the time I want to hear the voice of